Hey everyone, I'm Kayer, and today I'm here to talk to you about something that I love. I love Excel, as the t-shirt says, and I think you do too. Today we're going to tell you what's new for you as a developer. Watching this video, we want you to think about how you can bring your SaaS applications to the hundreds of millions of users using Excel every day. We like to think of Excel as the surface of the world's information. And when you think about that, and when you think about what that really means, I want you to just take a pause and close your eyes for a second. I know it's weird, just amuse me, close your eyes. And just think about the number of open spreadsheets that are open on people's machines right now. Think about what they're doing. They could be doing something as simple as creating a list, or you could have businesses that are powered by Excel. And when you think about that, that's what I love. Our CEO, Satya, says you don't join Microsoft to be cool. You join Microsoft to make others cool. And I can't think of any software out there in its history that has done a better job of that than Microsoft Excel. And as a developer, we want you to continue that legacy. We want you to think about how you can use Office add-ins to build rich and connected experiences that meets users in the context that they're in, whether that's web, Mac, or Windows. Let's take a look at what Office add-ins can do. An add-in has two simple components. There's a web app and there's a manifest. Once you've created a manifest, that registers your add-in so it can show up in a variety of places. First, you can project buttons onto the ribbon through add-in commands. You can also project buttons and customize buttons on the right-click context menu. You can also pop open dialog boxes to ask for input or authentication. And most commonly, you can render your experience as a task pane. And it's not only about extending the UI surfaces, we also allow you to extend Excel's powerful calculation engine with custom functions. These custom functions work just like built-in functions that are available today. And once you've created your add-in, you can publish your add-in via AppSource so users can acquire these through the Office store by going to Insert Get Add-ins, or an IT admin can deploy your solution to their organization through centralized deployment. And this is really cool because as a business user, they would just open up Excel and they would have your solution readily available to them without having to deal with any custom installers. We've been hardening this platform for over 7 years now. It's due to our partners and our developer community who have shaped the capabilities that are available today. Thank you. Also excited today to have a special guest speaker, Saji from the Oracle team.
Thank you, Kayer. I'm really excited to be here to show you how we are making use of some of the capabilities in Oracle SmartView for Office. SmartView is an add-in to Microsoft Office to bring data from different Oracle data sources to Office. Office, especially Excel, has always been a platform that allowed developers to extend its capabilities by writing add-ins. With VBA, COM, now the web add-in. Oracle Hyperion S-based spreadsheet add-in was one of the first add-in on an Excel platform using Excel for macros in the 1990s to bring data from our multidimensional database named SBase. It had a VBA to enhance the user experience further. In 2004, we rewrote the add-in in COM. It was not just a rewrite. It extended its function across Office, Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook. We continue to support VBAs and added a lot more of them. We are at a point we are rewriting SmartView again as a web add-in this time to take advantage of its modern design and out-of-the-box support for multi-platform like web and Mac. SmartView Web Add-in is developed as a earlier Keyur mentioned about meeting the users where they are. With the SmartView Web Add-in code, it works on Office on Mac and online with the same code without any platform specific changes or configuration changes. Literally write it once and use it everywhere. It also provides same user experience across this platform. This is pretty important. Nowadays, companies are providing employees a choice to pick their hardware. They can use a PC, Mac, or a floor manager may prefer an iPad, for example. It is important for us to provide the rich functionality natively on these platforms. Let's take an example. A user may use a PC to come up with analysis and send it to a colleague, manager, or CFO's office for approval. The person on the other side may not be using Windows. To support these use cases in the COM world, IT was forced to provide a parallel set of Windows machines for employees to remote desktop into to finish their work. This is not just an added cost. It's huge inconvenience for users as well. Another factor to consider. COM add-ins are installed onto every PC. Installing a COM add-in or updating to a newer version may require downtime for that user and some effort from IT to prepare a distribution package and actually distributing it. With the web add-in, no more MSIs. There is no client-side install except some cache files generated when you have started to use them. Zero client-side footprint. An administrator can control the deployment of SmartView Web Add-in to one user, selected few, or an entire group just by having few mouse clicks. And this is true for any web add-in. Developers like us can sideload the add-in for you testing. In the web add-in architecture, most of the business logic runs on the server. This allows developers like us to make frequent releases and feature updates. Latest changes are available to the users right away. Now we'll take some demos.
As Keyur mentioned, it really is about connecting Excel to our SaaS applications. In our EPM Cloud interface, we currently have a form where users can enter data online, but they want to do it in Excel. A data entry form is opened within Excel on Mac, maintaining the form context. I can dismiss the task pane. We are using shared runtime. My command bar buttons will continue to work. I can make some changes to the data and I can submit those data back to the server. Like I mentioned, here I'm using a form which typically has a format. Some members are on the row, some other set of members are on the column, and typically created by an administrator or an application designer. Next, what I'm going to create is an ad hoc analysis sheet out of this using Analyze. Here we are using a multi-dimensional database where members like account, finance manager, etc., as well as headcount are organized in a hierarchy, and the data lies in the intersection of these hierarchies. I can navigate through the hierarchy using operations like zoom in, zoom out, top level, keep only, remove only, etc. I'm going to select a top level for this dimension. It took me to the job, which is top of that hierarchy. I'm going to navigate to the next level by selecting zoom to next level. And I want to start focusing on this particular item, total jobs. So I'm going to do a keep only on that. I'm going to do one more zoom in to the next level on total jobs. I can also use Excel to slice and dice the data. And SmartView Web Add-in supports custom functions as well. Custom functions help users to bring data from data sources and can be used just like an Excel formula. This comes very handy if you want to create a highly formatted report that brings data from different sources. Now let's drill into some additional capabilities that we are working on. In order to provide a great user experience, we want to show users only those actions that are relevant in the context of the data the user imported. Leveraging the contextual tabs functionality, we are able to do so. Here I have logged into Office Online. I'm going to select SmartView tab. In the SmartView ribbon tab, we are showing only the buttons that are specific to the SmartView tab. We also have disabled some of the ribbon items that are not applicable till we have established connection to our application. Next, we will open a data entry form. Consider a data entry form to be a predefined table or a report set up by an administrator or a form designer. You will notice that a new context ribbon named Planning is opened. All the buttons shown here are relevant to this particular data entry form. I'm going to dismiss that. I'm going to enter some cell note into financial year 20. Next, I'm going to open a new worksheet to do some analysis using the Analyze button. It's going to start an ad hoc analysis sheet. It creates a new ribbon tab named Planning Ad Hoc. Here we try to maintain the same user experience like in COM add-in and name the tab as Planning Ad Hoc. All the ribbon items displayed here are buttons used for ad hoc analysis like zooming to next level, zoom out, keep only some members, remove only, etc. As a developer with this function, let's take a look at the code and see how easy it is to implement enable and disable functionality. To get started, I used a sample provided by Microsoft. Use case here is pretty simple. When I'm connected to a service, enable the disconnect button. When I'm in a disconnected state, show the connect button. So when the add-in starts up, we want to show the connect button enabled and disconnect button disabled. You can control the initial state by adding an entry in enabled in the manifest file. For the disconnect button, you can add this enabled flag here. Now to dynamically control it, there is an API called office.ribbon.requestUpdate. This takes a JSON argument. A disconnect button will get enabled. Next is an item we have been waiting for a long time, support for shortcut keys. When you're working with an application for data entry or analysis, it's not greatly convenient to move your mouse to the ribbon and come back to the cells just to perform an action like refresh latest data from your application or to do data submits. Now you can use keyboard shortcuts to perform these operations. Let's take a look at how SmartView is using this to do ad hoc analysis. You'll select a member. I can navigate the hierarchy or drill into the children of year total or do zoom in by doing a Control-Shift-I. I can zoom out by doing a Control-Shift-O. I can focus on one member by doing a Control-Shift-K. I can move members to the left by doing a Control-Shift-Left.
Awesome. Thank you, Saji, for those great demos. Saji highlighted various capabilities, and we wanted to touch upon them so you can use these capabilities in your add-ins as well. First, we start with a powerful foundation you can build your integrations on. The shared runtime allows you to easily share state between your add-in commands, custom functions, and your task panes. This allows you to tag documents such that your add-in can still run even if things like the task panes have been closed. And they also provide enhanced support for custom functions. The shared runtime is generally available for you to use today. Now, it's not just the foundation. We need APIs for you to interact with the Excel workbook. And it's really cool and proud to say we've have over 2,000 APIs available for you to use right now to interact with Excel. Today, we also have a new set of APIs that will allow you to work with the latest Excel features like at mentions and comments, or one of my personal favorites, Excel dynamic arrays. These new capabilities are now generally available as part of the Excel 1.2 API requirement set. On top of the platform and APIs, we also have enhanced user experiences. I talked about add-in commands, talked about dialog boxes. But with dialog boxes, we're making them even easier to use with the message child API. This enables easy two-way interactions with dialogs and other parts of your add-in, such as your task pane. As Saji highlighted, we also have the ability to enable and disable buttons in the ribbon. This capability is also generally available today for Windows and Mac. We're building off of that with two new capabilities: shortcut keys and contextual ribbon tabs. If you're interested, APIs are going to be coming soon to public preview, and the best place to learn about them will be joining our community call, and we'll have a link to that at the end. Now let's talk about how you can get started building your own add-ins today. With that, I'm going to pass this over to my colleague Allison, who's going to take us through additional demos.
Thanks, Keir. My name is Allison McKay, and I am a developer writer on the Office Add-ins documentation team. I'm going to do a short demonstration about how Excel add-ins work. I'm going to show you ScriptLab, which is an add-in you can use to learn how to make add-ins. ScriptLab lets us explore the API space and rapidly prototype code changes. I'm new to Microsoft. I started just a couple of months ago, and I've used ScriptLab myself to learn how to make add-ins, so I can tell you from experience that it is a very useful tool. First, I'm going to show you how to install ScriptLab. I'm starting with Excel open, and up here in the menu you see Home and then Insert. I'm going to click the Insert tab and then go to the Add-ins button, click that, and then click Get Add-ins. This opens up a dialog with a couple of options. In the My Add-ins tab, you see any add-ins you already have installed on your machine. If you go to Admin Managed, you see any add-ins that your IT admin might have distributed to your organization. In the Store tab, you see all of the add-ins that have been approved by Microsoft and are available in the add-ins store. We're getting ScriptLab, which is here in the list, but if it's not at the top of your list, you can go to the search field and type in ScriptLab and then hit search, and ScriptLab will come up at the top of the list. Next, you'll want to click the Add button here on the right. Once you click Add, your add-in will be ready to use. I already have ScriptLab installed, so I'm going to exit this dialog. An add-in can express itself in different Excel UI areas. Once ScriptLab is installed, you'll see that it's available up here as a tab in the menu. Below that, there are a couple of buttons. I'm going to click Code to run ScriptLab. You'll see that a task pane has opened up here on the right. I like my task pane to be a little bit wider, so I'm going to drag it to the left. There we go. Next, I'm going to show you the menu in ScriptLab. So go up to the top left of your task pane, and if we click the menu button, we open up a couple of options. One of those options is samples. If I click that, I can see all of the samples that are available in our sample library. These are preloaded, and we are regularly updating the samples each time we update the API, so this is a constantly evolving section. Next, I'm going to show you a sample that shows a number of add-in features. I will open that sample. Now we have the sample open in the code editor task pane. First, I am going to run the sample, and then I will show you what happens behind the scenes. Now I have the sample running. First, I'll click the Tables button. You'll see that we've added a table to our worksheet, and we've also added a new worksheet called Ignite 2020. Next, I'll click the Charts button. You'll see that we can add charts to our worksheets with our APIs. We can also add shapes to our worksheets with our APIs. When I click Conditional Formatting, you'll see that our APIs support conditional formatting. The Comments button shows us that I've added text to a cell with a comment in it with an @ mention, so you can leverage Excel's collaborative capabilities through add-ins. I'll click the Pivot Tables button, which shows you that we can create pivot tables with an add-in, and when I click Reset Sample, it closes out that worksheet. Now I will show you the code behind this sample. In the top left corner of the ScriptLab task pane, I'll click an arrow button. Now we're back to the code. In the task pane, we have a top-level menu with the title of our sample and the run options. Below that, we have a couple of tabs. Under the HTML tab, we have all of the buttons that we saw. CSS shows us the styles. And if we go back to script, we'll see all of the script that runs our sample. At the top, we have the click handlers, and below that, we have the tables method. Within the tables method, you can see how we use the API to create a worksheet called Ignite 2020. Let's see. We add a table to that worksheet, we name the table, we add headers to that worksheet, and then we map JSON data to the worksheet. You'll see that down below we have the JSON data saved, but you could replace this preloaded data with the fetch call. Back in the tables method, we format the table, we activate the worksheet, and then await context.sync tells Excel to execute my commands as a batch, which helps with performance. Down below, we have all the other methods for each of those buttons. Next, I'm going to show you a custom function sample. Since ScriptLab is available cross-platform, I've switched to Excel on the web, and I'll show you the sample here. I already have ScriptLab open and a couple of cells set up to show you the sample. This custom function sample translates text from one language to another. So instead of typing =sum in the cell, we type =translate to access the custom function. Here on the right, you see the ScriptLab code editor task pane. You'll notice that the menus look different. ScriptLab has detected that this is a custom function snippet, so we don't need HTML or CSS, and instead of running the function, we will register it. Here in the script tab, we have the method triggered by this custom function. This method makes a web request to an Azure function, which calls Azure Cognitive Services and translates my text. After you've entered your method, you'll click the Register button in the top level menu of the ScriptLab task pane to make the custom function available in your worksheet. Once you've registered a custom function, it's a real Excel function and you can use it in all the ways Excel functions can be used. I've already registered this function, so it's already available in my worksheet. Now I'm going to show you how to use the function. So I will type in =translate in this cell, and then we'll see that my custom function comes up as an option. I'll click Tab to select it, and then I will enter the cells I want to target. Then I'll hit Enter. And right now the custom function is contacting Azure Cognitive Services. Okay. Now I have the response, and I can drag this to other cells to translate other phrases to other languages. I can also say I want to know a different language, not German. I could change this language to Icelandic. And now we have Icelandic. We can also change the text, say I don't like apples. I love broccoli. All right, that's how custom function snippets work. So now I'll pass this presentation back to Keir. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Allison shared some awesome demos with ScriptLab. ScriptLab's an awesome tool to help you get started. We also have additional tools such as the ability to build your add-ins using Visual Studio Code or any other editor. We have a Yeoman generator that helps you create projects in the JavaScript framework of your choice. And if you're building on React, we recommend the Fluent UI React Toolkit. This toolkit will allow you to make your experience look and feel like native features of Office. This toolkit, in fact, is one that we use internally to ship features in Excel as well. Another thing to highlight is our patterns and practices library. This is a library of different samples and patterns that you can use, such as how to batch custom functions or make calls to an Azure function. There's also great examples on how to use the shared runtime. Today, in the spirit of connecting your solution with Excel, we're highlighting a new pattern, which we call the Open in Excel experience. Leveraging Office add-ins, the Office Open XML SDK, Microsoft Graph, and the Fluent UI toolkit, you'll be able to build some great experiences to connect your solutions to end users in Excel. We highly recommend you check out this link below. And we have lots of great ways where you can learn and engage with us. I'd start off with our documentation site that will have all the tools and resources that we talked about available for you to start building your add-ins right away. And in terms of engaging with us, we're out there in the community. Our team every day is responding to questions and issues on Stack Overflow and GitHub. We use user voice to prioritize feature requests. And as I mentioned before, once a month, we interact with a community in our community call. That's my favorite time of the month. I get to interact with developers like you, and I hope to see you there on a future call so we can continue to showcase all of the great examples and new APIs that are available. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed this talk and hope you start building and enhancing your add-ins with these capabilities that we highlighted today.